News this morning, a UCA sophomore killed after being hit by a car. What students and police are saying about the honor student. Plus,
rain going on in the state this morning, but all eyes are on a stronger system with possible severe weather tonight. I'll have the latest overnight data for you.
We've got orders to cross here. That is the German front line.
we hear from the Golden Globe winning director on how 1917 was meticulously planned and shot. Plus, what critics are saying at 6:24.
From the station that's on your side, this is Channel 7 News Daybreak.
Good morning to you. The time now is 6 o'clock on this Friday morning.
And we're on your side, getting you Daybreak ready and weather aware ahead of tonight's storms with new information overnight. Take a look at the severe risk map on your screen. The Storm Prediction Center expanding the moderate risk you see in red to cover more of southwest Arkansas.
Meteorologist Melinda Mayo is in the Weather Center tracking it all this morning. Melinda, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, and that's not what you want to see as you get closer to an event, the risk being upgraded rather than downgraded. And I've been in contact with the Storm Prediction Center. They're going to do this again. That moderate risk is going to expand north and eastward into more of Arkansas. So our slight risk being upgraded. Still far northern areas of the state under a risk of severe weather, but not quite the instability there that we're going to see from central down into South Arkansas tonight. Out ahead of it, as expected, scattered showers. Every once in a while you get a heavier pocket of rainfall, but it does not last very long. So we'll keep watching that through the day. And here's the timing for tonight. A lot of people saying, when is this going to happen? There could be some stronger storms out ahead of the main line in the evening hours that I think we'll need to monitor as well for gusty winds or even isolated tornadoes. But for that main strong system around 9 to 10 o'clock for western Arkansas, moving into central Arkansas after midnight, could be though 1 or 2 a.m. By 3 a.m. it is here, and then it moves into eastern Arkansas in the pre-dawn hours early tomorrow morning. So we will watch it very carefully. Warm today. You don't need a jacket. We're going up to near 70 degrees, but take the rain gear along. Chris?
Just has that feeling like it's going to storm out there. Melinda, thank you. Our Southwest Auto Collection traffic report this morning. We've got a feeling that hopefully it's going to be a good morning for your morning commute. And if that continues what we're seeing right now, it will be that. Now, let's go ahead and show you what we're seeing, at least so far, in the Total Traffic and Weather Network of Little Rock map first. Everything is moving pretty smoothly. Broad view of the metro here will show things moving just fine on the major interstates and highways. Here's a couple of average commute times for you. Let's start in Saline County. 13 minutes from Benton to 430. 40 eastbound from Conway's 20 minutes to the 430 on-ramp. It's about 20 minutes from Cabot to the Big Church in North Little Rock. 530 northbound, so 40-minute commute from Pine Bluff and Whitehall, and 35 minutes from Sheridan. And it's a 13-minute drive on 40 westbound from Lonoke to 440. Here is a live look at a couple of our cameras, and we'll start here at the 30 River Bridge, where traffic is light to moderate levels of volume. Here's 630. East and westbound, this is next to Arkansas Children's Hospital, no problems whatsoever. And finally, here's a look at where photojournalist Marcus McDonald is located for you this morning, as he is keeping a close eye on things for you on Interstate 40. So please be careful out there, and we'll keep you up to speed on new traffic all morning on Channel 7. Well, Arkansas Department of Transportation is now offering a new feature on its website, allowing people the ability to access details on fatal and serious injury crash statistics all across the state. And Channel 7's Kayla Lafferty is joining us now with how this works and what information is made available to you. Kayla, good morning. Thanks for showing this.
Yeah, it looks overwhelming when you first take a look at the site, but actually once you break it down, it's really easy. It's compiling data from 2015 through actually today. So taking a look at the website here, each of these red or black dots represents an accident or crash that happened somewhere along these areas. But the cool thing, when you click on the dot, it actually brings up a report giving you the information related to the crash, and so like if there are any fatalities, cars related, stuff like that. Another interesting thing, it shows the total number of crashes right up here in the corner. So far from 2015 to today, there's been 11,946 crashes in the state of Arkansas. And then the top of the website actually has tabs that gives you more specific data to any sort of crash that you want to look at. So we're going to take a look at impaired driver statistics in the Arkansas related to crashes. And this shows actually a decrease in those crashes from 2015 till today. It's showing over 300 impaired driver crashes in 2015 compared to today. That number has been almost cut in half with about 150 impaired driver crashes. So some really interesting data that we have there this morning. And of course, you can head to our website, ketv.com, to get a link to this website.
Kayla, thank you so much. And students at the University of Central Arkansas are mourning the loss of a classmate. Campus police say sophomore Rebecca Harpool was walking in the parking lot near the recreation center around 7:30 Wednesday night when she was hit by a car. She was rushed to a nearby hospital where she died Thursday morning. Students like Chris Freitag Shaw says it is not a good start to the semester, but it brings up the importance of pedestrian safety.
Seem to get a little bit careless around here, especially whenever it's time to leave or whenever it's early in the morning. People don't seem to be as cautious as they need to be.
School officials say Harpool was a presidential scholar and was pursuing a degree in special education. Police tell KATV the driver is also a student at UCA. UCA police say the driver did not receive a ticket, nor was that person arrested.
A new health headline this morning. If you are one of 30 million Americans who snore, choke, gasp, or stop breathing during the night, your tongue could actually be the key reason here. A new study published today found a connection between having a fat tongue and sleep apnea. That's right. Researchers studied 67 obese patients with obstructive sleep apnea and measured how a 10% weight loss would affect their upper airways. Well, they found that patients who reduced their tongue size by losing overall body fat improved sleep apnea scores by more than 30%. I didn't even know you could lose tongue weight.
What are those exercises like?
I have no idea. I had no idea that was even a possibility. I thought your tongue is just your tongue.
Now I'm interested
like your
in
nose,
what
your ears.
everyone's tongue looks like. Do you have a, I don't know if you say fat tongue, but
Fat.
like a chunky tongue.
It's not fat. It's just big bump.
Yeah, big
yes,
bump tongue.
Exactly. With
Okay,
no
well,
bumps.
coming up on Daybreak, we're getting a preview of 2 new movies in theaters this weekend.
One of them already winning the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture Drama. We'll tell you what critics are saying about it at 6:23.
Scattered showers continue moving across the state this morning. You'll have to deal with that on the morning commute. But overnight storms still really what we're watching. We'll go over the latest timing and the storm risk.
Channel 7 News Daybreak, brought to you by UAMS Health, Top Shoes, and Arkansas's best Chevy dealers. Weather Cams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air. From the weather team with the most experience, this is Channel 7 meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Welcome back. Just checked in with the Storm Prediction Center. They say we're going to upgrade this slight risk map, or this risk map rather, for the state. Moderate has been expanded overnight. That's where the greatest threat for damaging winds will be. Also the greatest threat for isolated tornadoes. That's going to move likely across most of the southern half of the state, I believe. We'll watch as the latest update comes through. And then the enhanced risk will likely move northward as well. So this will be the last version of this we will see, just meaning there is a great threat of damaging winds tonight. And keep in mind, even if we have tornado warnings or we don't, sometimes those straight line winds, those can be as destructive as a small tornado. You can get winds up to 70, 80, even 90 miles per hour that can cause damage. So be sure and get the KTV weather app downloaded to your phone if you don't have it already, and you can set that for the warnings, and you can set it to wake you up tonight if that's when the storms are in your area. First of all, this morning, scattered rainfall going to get a little bit heavier here out in West Little Rock for a little while. We've got just these pockets of more moderate to heavy rain. They've been moving through northern Arkansas too, but this is scattered stuff. It rains a little while, then you get into a dry area, and then more scattered rain moves back in. That's going to go on all day today. We may get a lull. Here comes back some more rain. The main system, though, will come with the front and the upper low as it arrives late tonight. Wow, it's warm out there. Temperatures in the 60s. Kind of feels like a spring morning with these temperatures and the cloudy skies and the rain. So let's go over what we're expecting tonight. And definitely with that KTV weather app, you'll know what's going on. But wind, definitely the greatest threat across most of the state. Damaging winds, but also we'll have to watch for sometimes a little rotation along that main line that could cause some small, weak tornadoes. Flooding also a big concern. Hail, not so much. It's not that kind of a storm system, but there could be some small hail, certainly. Flash flooding watch goes into effect later today. It lasts through tomorrow morning. We hate to see flooding overnight because oftentimes that's where we have some of our injuries or fatalities in flooding cars. Meantime, the timing of this. Now, I think there could be some storms out ahead of the main line, but we're talking about the system with the strongest winds, 9 to 10 o'clock in western Arkansas shortly after midnight here in the metro, and then moving into eastern Arkansas around 3 to 4 a.m. out of the state before sunrise tomorrow. So that'll be good news. Here is a look at it on Futurecast. This is what I was talking about. Around 7:30 to 8 o'clock, we could see some storms developing out ahead of that stronger system. Those could also have damaging winds and even some isolated tornadoes with some of those smaller storms. Here comes the main line, though. This is 1:30. It is here in central Arkansas, eastern Arkansas. It moves into your area again before sunrise. We'll also watch that wraparound. Yeah, maybe a little winter weather in northwest Arkansas. Nothing to get too excited about. We'll be glad when that sunshine comes back on Sunday. Today's high around 69 degrees. We're in the 60s now, so you don't need a jacket, maybe just a rain jacket or a windbreaker or something like that to keep you dry today. 55 tomorrow morning, but we'll drop those temperatures through the day Saturday. Tomorrow afternoon, likely in the 40s, and then much cooler by Sunday. Chris?
All right, coming up on Daybreak, a man was arrested in Colorado after pulling over another motorist and allegedly posing as a police officer. What the driver asked the man, we'll tell you. Coming up next. The time now is 6:13.
In this morning's GMA First Look, pulled over by a man accused of being a fake cop.
I need to see your ID and registration.
Stephanie Troyer says this exchange with a man who claimed to be a police officer was anything but a routine stop.
Well, I thought it was strange because at no point at this point had he identified himself.
That's because authorities say he wasn't a police officer after all. Troyer, who requested not to have her face shown on camera, told ABC affiliate KMGH her motherly instincts kicked into high gear, leading her to ask Nelson for ID. And when he didn't produce one after multiple requests, she took off. Experts say her instincts were spot on.
She asked for identification. She was not satisfied that he was a police officer, and I think that was important.
So what else should someone do in this situation? We'll have the expert tips to keep you safe coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
I love the new MyWW program because you get matched with a plan tailored to you. Whether you're a dine-outer, take-outer, veggie person, definitely not just veggie person, bread lover, or cheese lover. All you have to do is answer personal assessment questions and get scientifically matched with a proven weight loss plan. Find out which new customized plan can make losing weight easier for you.
The new program from WW, Weight Watchers Reimagined. Join today with the WW Triple Play. Hurry, offer ends January 13th.
Whether your beauty routine is 3 steps or 57, make Nature's Bounty Hair, Skin, and Nails Step 1. It's the #1 brand uniquely formulated for silky hair, glowing skin, and healthy nails. Nature's Bounty, because you're better off healthy.
Introducing new Vicks Vapo Patch. Easy to wear with soothing Vicks Vapors for her, for you, for the whole family. New Vicks Vapo Patch. Breathe easy.
6:18 is the time. Now time for our Southwest Auto Collection traffic report. 13-minute drive, and that's going to be on 40 westbound from the Lone Oak exit to 440. Average speed, roughly 70 miles an hour. Let's look around a couple other spots before we check out our cameras. One's going to be 530 northbound from Pine Bluff and Whitehall. It's about a 36 to 40-minute commute. From Sheridan on 167 northbound, merging onto that 530 on-ramp is going to be about a 35-minute drive for you this morning. 20 minutes from both Cabot and Conway at this time to get to North Little Rock and Saline County residents. It's a 13-minute commute from Benton to 430. Here's a live look at our cameras, and we'll start at the 30 River Bridge. Traffic over in that direction, it's, I'd say, moderate level of volume. Not heavy yet, but it will be in the next 40 minutes. Here's 630 east and westbound next to ACH, seeing a moderate level of volume in front of ACH as well. And here's a look at what's happening from photojournalist Marcus McDonald. He is on Interstate 40 in North Little Rock, keeping a close eye on traffic conditions as that traffic's merging on from 30 and 40. Now here's a check of your forecast.
Okay, thanks, Chris. I want to show you that some of the traffic's about to get a little brief period of heavier rainfall. Here it is on our Live 5 Dopplers right now. You can see that area of rain. I'll stop it to show you where it is now. Getting pretty close to the 430-40 interchange with just a brief pocket of real heavy rain, and then it's gone. But that's going to move up across I-40 near the 430 area and then continue on up into northern Pulaski County, possibly up around Cabot. So there are some of those pockets of heavy rain rain. Most of it, though, will be light today. The stronger system, of course, arrives tonight, and we'll talk about the timing of that coming up in just a little bit. Allison?
Melinda, thank you. Coming up on Daybreak, we're getting a preview of 2 movies in theaters this weekend, from World War I to fight an underwater monster, plus what critics are saying next. The time now is 6:20, and it's 62 degrees outside. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And
6:23 is the time. Welcome back into Channel 7 Daybreak. We're now getting a preview of 2 new movies in theaters this weekend, including 1917, which is actually just now expanding to our area after a limited release on Christmas.
It won the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture Drama and Best Director. CNN's David Daniel has a look at this unique film.
Deliver this to Colonel Mackenzie. It is a direct order to call off tomorrow morning's attack. If you don't, it will be a massacre. We will lose 2 battalions. 1,600 men, your brother among them.
1917 focuses on a single desperate mission in World War I, unfolding in real time and apparently in one unbroken take. That meant months of preparation for Oscar-winning director Sam Mendes, Oscar-winning cinematographer Roger Deakins, and the cast and crew.
We had to know what the shots were before the sets were basically laid out and designed, before the trenches were dug or the farmhouse was put in place. You know, everything had to be worked out to the script.
A mile of trenches, no man's land, fields, rivers, streams, orchards, farmhouses, canals, burning towns at night, and everything had to be measured before it could be, as it were, constructed or chosen.
We need to keep moving! Come on!
The stars reveled in the process.
We really got to experience the, behind the scenes, and we were a real part in building this film up from nothing with Sam.
The whole crew rehearsed, and there was never a lead element other than the story. And Sam masterminded and curated that beautifully.
We've got orders to cross here. That is the German front line.
Hold back! If we're not clever about this, no one will get to your brother.
I will.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Not surprising after seeing that and the Golden Globe that they won. The movie getting great reviews. It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and has a 95% audience score. Critics say hard-hitting, immersive, and an impressive technical achievement. 1917 captures the trench warfare of World War I with raw, startling immediacy. Jim Drew says it may be the only movie he sees this year.
And he does not go often. It's one that I want to see in theater just because, like they said, it's immersive. And when you see it on a big screen, it will take you to that time. And just the tracking shot alone is, I think, it's one of those that's enticing enough for even those who can't go to a movie often. You might want to see this one in theater before it comes out. Also, check this out. Twilight star Kristen Stewart faces off against an aquatic terror at the bottom of the sea in her latest flick, Underwater. The movie takes place on a drilling platform at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Since filming on location would be impossible, director William Eubank filmed submerged sequences using a dry for wet technique. Listen.
Basically what happened was, so we were in these huge suits and we would be rigged up on strings, I don't know the correct term, and we would have to move in slow motion as if we're going through water, but we'd have to talk at a normal speed. That's what it's like filming dry for wet.
I think that without that kind of revolutionary thought, there would be no way to make this movie.
Well, this movie not quite getting the same reviews as 1917. It's at 49%. Critics saying Underwater's strong cast and stylish direction aren't enough to distract from the strong sense of deja vu provoked by this claustrophobic thriller's derivative story. The audience score is actually okay, 66%, so a couple of different options for you.
Okay, there are 2 more films new this week. Renee will review Like a Boss and Just Mercy this morning on Good Morning Arkansas, which starts at 9 a.m.
Coming up on Daybreak this morning, we are in storm mode all day today, including heading into the overnights. Channel 7 meteorologist Melinda Mayo on your side, looking ahead to the severe weather. The newest information to get to you is coming up right after this break. The time now is 6:27. It's 62 degrees outside.
Making news this morning, the Little Rock Fire Department working to help the hearing impaired.
We have smoke alarms, but if Jerry wasn't there, I would be in real trouble.
What technology officials have to keep them safe.
At his first rally since ordering a drone attack against Soleimani, President Trump says the Iranian regime was trying to blow up an embassy. Good morning, I'm ABC's Megan Tavrizian in New York. We have those details coming up.
And North Little Rock's police department is going to be in the same building for the first time in over 20 years, when crews will break ground on the new location coming up.
Hey, good morning, everybody. 6:31 is the time on this Friday. Thanks for joining us. It's January 10th, and we are starting in the Weather Center.
Yeah, lots to talk about regarding today into the night, into the morning as well. And so a lot of people wanting to know that timeline because it's the weekend and people have things to do.
Kind of worst case scenario overnight or when we expect the strongest storms. And we always worry about that people don't get the warnings they need. So be sure and get the KTV weather app. Now, this is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, but this isn't the latest we're going to see. We've been in contact with them. That moderate risk area is going to expand up into the Little Rock area as well as sections of eastern Arkansas. They're already outlining that, so that moderate risk will be upgraded and expanded. And I think even the rest of the state, which is now in that slight risk, northeast Arkansas, will move into that enhanced area too. So widespread damaging winds possible tonight. That is still the biggest threat that we're seeing. Isolated tornadoes, yes, I think we've got to watch for that rotation along that big storm line. But it's those damaging winds, straight line winds, that I think are going to be so widespread tonight. Hey, right here in Little Rock, we have seen some pockets of heavy rain. There's one that just moved across Maumelle. It's now in northern Pulaski County after crossing over I-40. So that is decreasing. That should get better. And then northern Arkansas, same story. Just a scattering of rainfall that we're going to see all day today, off and on. Cloudy skies, wet streets. Be careful as you head out the door. Today's high, how about 69 degrees, up close to 70. Temperatures will fall very rapidly behind the system. We'll go over your weekend forecast in just a moment. Chris?
Time now for our Southwest Auto Collection traffic report and the Total Traffic and Weather Network of Little Rock map, which gives us some average commute times before you head out the door. We like to give those to you, showing a 13-minute drive right now. That's from the Benton exit to 430 on 30 eastbound. Average speed 60 to 65 miles an hour. 40 eastbound from Conway. It's a 20-minute commute for you from Skyline to 430. 67 167 southbound from Cabot to the 3040 interchange is also a 20-minute drive. 530 northbound is 40 minutes from Pine Bluff and Whitehall. And 40 westbound, when you get to the Lone Oak exit, should only take you about 13 to 15 minutes to get to 440. Here's a quick look at a couple of our cameras, and we'll start at the 30 River Bridge, where that moderate level of volume continues to build. Getting to a heavier level at the 3040 interchange, but on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see once you get to the River Bridge, it does clear up. And here's 630 east and westbound next to ACH, showing also that moderate level of volume. And photojournalist Marcus McDonald's been on your side all morning and braving some of those showers Melinda was talking about as they kind of move through the area. You can see, though, everything is moving smoothly at the 3040 interchange, although the traffic volume building to a heavy level. So please be careful out there. Give plenty of space between you and your neighbor. 6:34 is the time. We're starting with new information for you this morning in our news headlines. A Mansfield woman accused of killing her mother pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder.
32-year-old Jordana Rogers was arrested in Texas on a separate charge. Rogers made statements about her mother that concerned authorities, and police later found Melinda Rogers dead in her home.
New this morning, an Arkansas death row inmate convicted of killing a state legislator's daughter is arguing he should not be executed because he has been diagnosed with schizophrenia. The Arkansas Supreme Court heard arguments Thursday over Carl Roberts' appeal of his conviction and death sentence in the 1999 killing of 12-year-old Andy Brewer. Roberts' attorney told the justices that the schizophrenia made Roberts unable to assist defense attorneys during his trial because he believed that jailers were secretly recording him.
A top story on KATV.com this morning. An automotive executive from one of Arkansas's best-known families has died. Scott Landers, the son of Steve Landers, was just 35 years old. Scott Landers died of a suspected heart attack while duck hunting on Wednesday. He followed his father into the car business, eventually partnering with a Minneapolis auto group to open 7 dealerships in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Scott Landers' funeral is set for Tuesday morning at 11 at Emmanuel Baptist Church.
6:35 is the time. Happening next week. A new project will break ground in North Little Rock. It's looking at putting the police department under one roof for the first time since the 90s. Channel 7's Kayla Lafferty's at the Live News Center with the location and how it will be used. Kayla, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Well, it's called the Justice Center, and the new 82,000 square foot facility will not only hold the police department, but also municipal courts and more. North Little Rock police say the original department on Pershing Boulevard was built to house less than 100 officers, but growth in the community has allowed for the department to expand to close to 200 officers. The site of the center is in the 2000 block of Poplar Street. The city paid the North Little Rock School District $500,000 for some of their administration buildings. The $30 million project is being paid for by the half-cent sales tax that was passed a few years ago. And officials with North Little Rock Police say they hope that the new facility will help recruit more officers to their department. Chris, back to you.
Kayla, thank you. And officials hope the complex will be completed by spring of 2021.
Well, the Little Rock Fire Department is eager to give out thousands of free smoke detectors. But what good does an alarm do for the hard of hearing who may need additional help in the event of a fire? Victoria Kapik is on your side this morning, reporting about disability-friendly technology that could save lives.
Hi there, how are you?
Come in.
Okay.
Becky Kossover faces enough challenges being hard of hearing without thinking about what she'd do if her house caught fire while she was asleep.
We have smoke alarms, but if Jerry wasn't there, I would be in real trouble.
Becky takes out her hearing aids to charge at night. Without them, she's almost completely deaf.
When the fire department came out before and they set one off, the one in the kitchen, I had my back turned. I heard nothing.
She was picked to get a free $250 detector and clock that shakes the bed when an alarm goes off.
It is very strong, and there's no way she's going to be able to sleep through it.
It's at a price obsolete when it comes to potentially saving a life.
Not a lot of people have that kind of money to spend on an alarm clock, but life safety does not have a value. So we just want to make sure that the people that really need them get them.
Fire officials gifted nearly 100 of the special detectors to the Arkansas School for the Deaf. Now they're looking for good homes like Becky's for the ones that are left.
I hope I never have to, it's never used, it's never tested, but it just gives you a little more security.
And that was Victoria Kapik reporting. Like the regular detectors that were granted to the fire department, officials only have until the end of February to install free devices for those eligible in the city. If you think you are eligible for a LifeTone detector, ask your audiologist to reach out to the fire department for more information.
Well, the time now this morning is 6:38, coming up on Daybreak.
And we had to make a decision. We didn't have time to call up Nancy.
President Trump explaining his need to make a decision without going to Congress last night at 6:45, what the House passed that would limit the president's power and what the president said happened in the killing of Iranian general and what was planned for the U.S.
And we'll talk about the scattered rain you will see this morning, but all eyes on that stronger system that arrives tonight. The latest from the Storm Prediction Center and when we're expecting that to arrive.
From the weather team with the most experience, this is Channel 7 meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
All right, good morning to you. If you're just joining us, it is 6:41. We are always looking ahead to our next weather maker, and this one is not too far away as the strongest storms arrive tonight. First of all, flooding, medium threat on that because we do have a flash flood watch in effect for much of the state. As far as the wind goes, I think this is going to be a widespread threat with much of the state seeing damaging winds tonight. Kind of on the lower end is hail. We don't think these are big hail-producing storms tonight. Could be some small hailstones. And then as far as the tornadoes, the thing everybody worries about, I would say a low to medium threat. We could definitely have a tornado watch posted for parts of the state, as well as some tornado warnings tonight. So there are a lot of apps out there, but this one can save your life because if you get the KTV weather app, you'll have those warnings right there. And with this arriving perhaps tonight, as many of us are trying to sleep, it might be hard to sleep tonight. It will wake you up, though, if you have a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's what you've told it to sound off on, or definitely a tornado warning. You need that to wake you up. Storm Prediction Center says this will change. The moderate risk area that was expanded overnight on up into southwestern Arkansas will likely include parts of the metro, the Little Rock area, and even eastern Arkansas. And then that enhanced area is going to move on up probably to the rest of the state. So everybody under the threat for damaging winds. I would say the best chance of Isolated tornado warnings or touchdowns would be across South Arkansas. Generally with this kind of system, they're on the low end of the scale and they don't last long, but we will be watching for anything tonight. Meantime, these little pockets of heavy rain don't last long this morning either. Most of it's on the light side, but every once in a while, one of those heavier areas of rainfall moves through. Just one through Camden, now moving up into northern sections of Calhoun County. So take your time, take the rain gear. You don't have to worry about big jackets because it's warm out there. We're on the warm side of this system. Obviously, you step outside, it feels like it's spring with morning temperatures in the 60s. Flash flood watch goes into effect this afternoon. 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall possible, enough to cause some street flooding tonight. Let's talk about what's going on with the timing of this. Probably 9 to 10 o'clock, the main line moves into western Arkansas. Now, I think at that time there could be some showers or even some storms out ahead of it in the evening hours here in central Arkansas, but the strongest of the storms making their way into central Arkansas around 2 to 3 o'clock, and then eastern sections about 4 to 5 when it moves through your part of the state. Here it is. Now, out ahead of it, a lot of the models saying there could be some strong storms earlier ahead of that system. We get a break and then that main line moves through with gusty winds. Look at where it kind of bows out. And if you get some of these little individual cells out ahead of that strong storm system, those can rotate. So that's when we would possibly see some tornado warnings into eastern Arkansas around 6 a.m. Then it is gone, and we will be so glad to see that sunshine on Sunday as temperatures drop behind the system as well. 69 for a high today. Scattered rainfall early, a few thunderstorms maybe today, but we don't expect anything severe until we get to maybe this evening or even late tonight. Rain and thunderstorms tonight, though. Be sure and stay with us here. Todd, Barry, James, myself will all be working this, and we'll have somebody here throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures drop tomorrow. Highs only around 51 on Sunday. Okay, let's check out your Metro forecast.
Crane Kia in Sherwood has your holiday season deals all month long during our holiday sticker sales event. Get a new Kia Sorento as low as $19,999 or with up to $7,500 off and save big when you stack the zeros. Buy with 0 down, 0% financing, 0 sales tax, and 0 payments till 2020. Plus, every new Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. At Crane Kia, we are Arkansas driven. Crane Kia of Sherwood. Call, click, or visit us today.
6:45 is the time now. The Democratic-controlled House now approving a resolution limiting the president's war powers.
This as President Trump defends his decision at a rally late Thursday, saying the Iranian regime was looking to, quote, blow up a U.S. embassy. ABC's Megan Trevisan joins us from New York.
Good morning. A week after President Trump ordered the attack on Qasem Soleimani, he's now offering a new reason for killing him.
At his first rally since ordering that fatal drone strike against Qasem Soleimani, President Trump saying the Iranian commander was planning attacks on multiple U.S. embassies.
He was looking very seriously at our embassies, and not just the embassy in Baghdad, but we stopped him, and we stopped him quickly, and we stopped him cold.
But several senators briefed on the intelligence say there was no mention of a plot to bomb an embassy. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying the president's actions endangered U.S. service members and diplomats.
The president to say, oh, I inform you by reading my tweets. No, that's not the relationship that our founders had in mind.
That's one of the reasons House Democrats and some Republicans approved a resolution requiring the president to get congressional approval for any future military action against Iran that lasts longer than 30 days. The White House calling the War Powers resolution, quote, ridiculous and completely misguided.
On Thursday, an Iranian general threatened more attacks by proxy forces in Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, and Afghanistan. The Trump administration says the United States remains ready, adding the regime still poses a very real threat. Megan Trevisan, ABC News, New York.
Megan, thank you. Coming up, our top stories making news this morning. The time now is 6:47, and it's 62 degrees outside. Time.
Breaking news just coming into our newsroom to share with you. Little Rock police reporting that one of their own detectives is facing charges this morning. Officer Eric Barnes tells KETV the department was notified of John Brawley's arrest Thursday morning. Brawley is facing a criminal charge, third-degree domestic assault. Barnes says Brawley is being investigated by another jurisdiction and is currently on paid administrative leave. We will continue to follow this story and have an update on our website and tonight on Channel 7 News at 5.
Well, students at the University of Central Arkansas are mourning the loss of a classmate. Campus police say sophomore Rebecca Harpool was walking in the parking lot near the recreation center around 7:30 Wednesday night when she was hit by a car. She was rushed to a nearby hospital where she died Thursday morning. Police tell KATV the driver is also a student at UCA. UCA police say the driver did not receive a ticket, nor was that person arrested. An automotive executive from one of Arkansas's best-known families has died. Scott Landers, the son of Steve Landers, was just 35 years old. He died of a suspected heart attack while duck hunting Wednesday. Landers' funeral is set for Tuesday morning at 11 at Emmanuel Baptist Church. Little Rock police are needing help to apply for the police force. They say normally they get nearly 800 people applying each cycle, and this time they only got half as many applicants. Applicants undergo 7 months of training and written and physical tests to become an officer. The deadline to apply for the August class is today.
And happening this weekend is the 77th annual Gillette Coon Supper in Arkansas County. It's traditionally considered a political event, with Arkansas lawmakers stopping by to eat raccoon and talk business. The supper is also a fundraiser for Gillette High School seniors. Organizers say they sold 500 tickets last year, and the raccoons for the supper are purchased from area hunters.
Will be an active weather day, and especially overnight tonight. So let's take a look at the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. We expect later this morning this will change, with all of the state under either that enhanced area of severe weather for tonight or possibly the moderate risk, which typically means a greater threat for damaging winds, possibly even some isolated tornadoes. So share this with other people that you know. Be sure that they are aware that storms will be coming through tonight, possibly even while a lot of people are trying to sleep. We have heard of a few accidents on these wet streets this morning, so please be careful. Take the rain gear. You don't have to worry about cold air, though. We're going up near 70 degrees this afternoon. Allison.
Melinda, thank you. Coming up next, do you clean dishes as you go, or do you let them pile up? The results from our question of the day, and how Procter & Gamble says their soap is supposed to be used. The time now is 6:52, and it's 62 degrees outside.
Americans are changing the way they wash their dishes. Procter & Gamble says more consumers are washing 1 or 2 dishes during cooking downtime, instead of letting them pile up and doing one big wash when they're all done. Well, get this. The company says its old-fashioned liquid detergent is not intended to be used that way, and they're now actually selling Dawn dish spray for the clean-as-you-go method, which brings us to our question of the day. Do you clean dishes as you go, or do you let them pile up? You can let us know on our Facebook and Twitter pages at KATV News. And looking at the results this morning, clean as I go, 72% on Twitter so far, to 27% saying that they wash everything at once, and almost the same exact results, 67% saying clean as I go on Facebook.
So if you think back to, I'm thinking back to how my parents wash dishes. They filled a sink full of water, put a couple of drops of the Dawn or whatever detergent you used in the sink, and then washed them and dried them.
Yeah, like
them.
the separated sink.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we use dishwashers now for the most part, but when you do hand wash the stuff, a lot of times we're squirting that same amount in for one. I saw my husband doing this the other day. I'm like, that is way too much. It's super concentrated.
Yeah.
And he said, why don't you let me wash dishes how I want to wash dishes? And I quietly stepped back.
You're doing it wrong. As long as he's doing it, I'm like, go for it, right? Yeah. But interesting that they say we don't need to be using that much.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, we'll continue telling us your habits at home when we come back. We'll talk about those storms that will be rolling through the state tonight. And we will all be here tonight and into the early morning hours tomorrow to be sure you are covered. 9 to 10 o'clock for western Arkansas. This is the main storm line, the strongest of the winds coming through in the overnight hours, 2 to 3 a.m. central Arkansas and out of the state before sunrise. So a little different system than we usually get here in Arkansas. As you just saw there, wind definitely the highest threat. Some of those winds can be as strong sometimes as a small tornado. So whether we get warnings or not doesn't matter. You need to be careful out there. Temperatures drop tomorrow in the 40s by Saturday afternoon. Chris?
Now looking at our Southwest Auto Collection traffic report, do have one accident to tell you about, and it's going to affect your morning commute. If you're taking 430 southbound from the 40 interchange to the Big Rock interchange. That should only take you about 7 minutes on average. Well, get this, it's an 18-minute drive because of an accident in between the Cantrell exit and the Rodney Parham exit. So let's take a look at what you're seeing on the 430 River Bridge. That is north of the river, looking to the south, and look at that. Yeah, that's a slow line of volume moving towards the Cantrell exit. I'd say avoid it if you can, but folks, you have limited options. It's that or the 3040 interchange. Here's a quick look at that and downtown Little Rock, and we're seeing heavy volume there as well. Photojournalist Marcus McDonald's on the north side of that, and you can see it's building up.
We hope you have a great weekend and a safe day and night. Stay with Channel 7 for the very latest on the potential for severe storms.